It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion. This is for Thursday, the 11th of December. I'm Michael Groff. It's another dry and unseasonably warm day here in the valley. Temperatures this afternoon pretty close to 80 degrees. A copy-paste forecast for tomorrow. Over the weekend, some increase in high clouds, but other than that, still more of the same. Temperatures above average, maybe close to records at times. Next week, there's a subtle change to the weather pattern. High pressure will relax just a little bit across the southwest, so temperatures may back off a couple of degrees, but overall, no real major changes for now. However, if you are looking for signs of a pattern change, well, we might have some good news on that front. Will we see a white Christmas across northern Arizona? A wet Christmas here in the southern part of the state? Will we finally see some cooler temperatures? Will this long, warm, and dry weather pattern finally come to an end? We'll talk about that and so much more as we dive on in and discuss. First, here's the almanac from yesterday. 77 degrees was the high temperature officially in Phoenix after a low of 48. 67 and 46 are the averages for this time of year. Looking outside right now, right before noon, we've got sunny sky. We're sitting at 72 degrees at Sky Harbor. Dew points at 39. Humidity 31%. The wind is calm and the barometer 30.03 inches and falling. Today's video is brought to you by On Demand Power, your local certified Generac technician specializing in generator maintenance, repair, and inspection to keep your home running when the grid fails. Visit them online at ondemandpwr.com. So we check out the satellite picture out here across the southwest and put that in motion for you. And believe it or not, yeah, it still looks identical to the last 7 to 10 days. And it's not going to change much over the next 7 to 10 days. We could cheat and copy and paste this every day, and you probably wouldn't notice, although you'd see the timestamps in the corner. But other than that, no, this is an identical sort of setup here, right? High pressure is sitting just to the west of us, a dry northwesterly flow. We've got the Tule fog across central California. That's about the only sensible weather even close to us, and I mean remotely close. Other than that, the storm track is way up to the north across western Canada and dipping down into the Pacific Northwest, the northern tier states, the northern central Rockies, the northern plains, the Great Lakes. That's where all the action is. And we can see that on the watch warning map. We've got flood advisories over parts of the Pacific Northwest, some winter weather advisories, winter storm warnings across Montana. The winter weather advisories extend over parts of the plain states, some dense fog advisories up there, especially over the valleys of Idaho and southeast Oregon. We've certainly seen some dense fog in recent days. It's kind of the same old story up there, but around here, nothing going on right now. Convective outlook, speaking of nothing going on, with most of the nation either in cool, stable air or, in the case of the southwest U.S., warm, stable air. Not only do we not expect to see any organized severe weather, we probably don't even hear so much as a clap of thunder today and tonight across the contiguous U.S. The precipitation outlook, this is valid through Thursday morning of next week. Rain amounts in Phoenix, nothing. Statewide, nothing. Region-wide, nothing. They didn't forget to color in this forecast. There's just nothing to color in right now. The closest precipitation chances to us for the next 7 days, you'd have to go up to maybe northern Utah or northern California. And even there, you know, you have to go pretty far up there toward maybe north of San Francisco or up to around or just north of the Great Salt Lake before you start to run into any precipitation over the next 7 days. It's going to be quiet across the southwest for a while. But could this change beyond this period? Well, we'll talk about that right now as we get to the models, see what the future may hold. Here we go. This is the GFS. It's the 12Z run. This is valid at 5 o'clock this afternoon. We start as usual with that upper chart here. This is where the pressure is 500 millibars. That's about 18,000 feet above sea level. And yeah, it's a very similar look. We've got that big trough right there over the east coast of North America. And we've got this ridge out here across the west, aligned northwest to southeast. That northwesterly flow continues here over the southwestern United States. And with heights just above average and that subsident air, yeah, that results down at the surface in sunny sky, high temperatures. Once again, 76 to 79 in Phoenix. Warmest desert spots of southeast California, southwest Arizona will touch or maybe surpass 80 degrees, and we could see a couple of record highs falling by the wayside. Tonight, clear sky with those longer nights, drier air. Overnight lows will still drop in the 40s in the cool spots, maybe low 50s, though, for the urban core tomorrow. Copy and paste the forecast, 76 to 79, sunny sky, dry air continues. Here's Saturday. Now, here in the Southwest, it's quiet, right? So temperatures still holding in the mid-70s to near 80 degrees in Phoenix. A very weak weather system is going to be moving through here Saturday and Sunday, and that could bring us some high clouds at times, but that's going to be about it, and temperatures will still remain pretty close to record territory here over the Southwest. Again, highs in the warmest desert spots, low 80s. But the rest of the nation, outside of the Southwest, going in the deep freeze. Check it out. These are highs on Saturday coming off the Euro Ensemble. We're talking about teens for Michigan. We're talking about single digits in Iowa. Parts of Wisconsin actually going below zero. Maybe highs staying below zero. Yes, high temperatures staying below zero. Maybe as much as 10 to 15 below across western Minnesota. If you're up around Bemidji or Thief River Falls, it could be a bitterly cold day there. Now, if you do want to find the warmth, it's not just here in the Southwest. South Texas, much of Texas, really, the Gulf Coast, South Florida, and here across the desert Southwest. That's where you'll find the warmth, 70s and even some 80s popping up. But elsewhere, it is quite chilly. Sunday, we're still holding with partly cloudy sky, high temperatures, upper 70s to low 80s. Here's Monday, same story, highs upper 70s. That very weak system moves on out, so we turn mostly sunny. Sunny sky on Tuesday, highs mid 70s, maybe upper 70s, and it's the same thing on Wednesday. The ridge, the upper heights will back off ever so slightly. And you do see the rain is getting a little closer to us. It's now dipping down into parts of Northern California, and the pattern is relaxing ever so slightly here. But for us, I mean, in terms of what you'll notice, just living down here at the surface level, it's not going to change much. I mean, sunny sky and temperatures are going to remain about 10 degrees above average all the way through much of next week. This is a week from today, Thursday, the 18th. And again, troughing well to the north of us. Interestingly enough, there's a little upper low that's shown there over the southern tip of Baja. We're not going to really concern ourselves with that, but the upper heights have come back down slightly. But temperatures are still going to remain above average here. This is Friday the 19th, and again, it's a very similar setup. The flow is going more zonal, and I would suspect if that's right, temperatures will back off a couple more degrees. We'd probably be back down into the 72 to 76 degree range if that's right. This is out 10 days, Saturday the 20th. And again, kind of a zonal flow. Temperatures would still be above average, but not quite up into the record territory. And so, yes, conditions would still be dry. We might see some occasional high clouds. That's about the only sensible weather we'd see there. Now, going further out here, let's take a look at rainfall for Phoenix. This goes out through Christmas Eve, the 24th of December, off the GFS Ensemble. And what you'll notice here is, the ensemble means had been all the way down to 2 3/4 of an inch, now coming up toward 2/10 of an inch. And there's a number of members that are starting to show some precipitation way out there after the 20th of December, right around or after the winter solstice, getting pretty close to Christmas. Euro Ensemble, 51 members. And again, there's quite a few that don't show any rainfall, but we're starting to see a little bit of a tick upward in the number of members showing precipitation out there as we get closer to Christmas. And the Euro AI, my goodness, both of the Euro has the control member getting up toward an inch. The Euro AI, the control member is up at 2 inches. The ensemble mean is over 1/3 of an inch here. And again, we're starting to see more members picking up on the idea of some precipitation out at about Christmas time. I don't think the pattern changes until sometime around then, or maybe that final week of December, 25th, 26th, 27th. But understand something right now, okay? That is so far out there that it's impossible to know any specifics. any idea what will happen there, but there just are these signs that the pattern will start to change. Now, does that mean it's going to rain here? Does that mean we'll get snow across northern Arizona? Not necessarily, but it could mean, at least at the bare minimum, that temperatures are going to back off and get closer to seasonal averages. Yes, it could mean precipitation for us. But right now, all this is just a subtle hint, a bit of a change in the pattern. But that's all it is right now. Indications, signs, hints of a change. Nothing is set in stone right now. It's way too far out there. We're going to watch, though, and see if these trends that we're seeing way out toward the end of these, that the ensemble period here, 15 days, we're going to see if that trend continues in future runs. Temperatures off the national blend of models, obviously above average, all the way out through about the winter solstice. I mean, highs 78 to 81, at least that's what the NBM is printing out. I think late next week and the following weekend, temperatures may back off a couple more degrees than what's shown here, but still remaining a solid 10 degrees above average. So I don't think we're going to get a break at least through the 20th or 21st. All right, the 8 to 14 day Climate Prediction Center outlook. This is for the period of December the 18th through the 24th. So this goes through Christmas Eve. And if this is right, well, boy, temperatures over most of the country heavily skewed toward above average. About the only exception of that, really, the far northern plains, the Northeast, but pretty much everywhere else, above average temperatures. And I know people are like, winter is over. No, it is just beginning, my friends. And then this is kind of interesting, all right? Precipitation is still skewed toward below average here for most of Arizona, but right across the northwest portion of Arizona, we're now getting skewed toward above average precipitation. And that above average area of precipitation is getting closer to the southwest. We're starting to see that the well below average area, get chipped away here from the southwest. And I think the guys at CPC are starting to see these trends that we're watching, and some of the teleconnections, the indications of a change in the North Pacific Oscillation and the MJO, the Madden-Julian Oscillation. That's going to start to move to the next phase. And as all these things start to change, we will see a bit of a pattern change. But what it all means for us, especially still with a weak La Nina in place, nobody knows. I don't know. You don't know. All those guys on the internet that claim to have all the answers, they don't know either. So we'll just take the wait and see approach. We'll watch those model trends, though. And that's what we can do here. And we can sure kind of look at pattern recognition. We can look at analogs. We can look at what's happened in the past, and we can formulate some hypotheses and some educated guesses, way out there at 2 weeks and 3 weeks, pattern recognition. And there's certainly some skill in doing that, but specifics, there's no way we can bring you those. Not at this distance, not at this range. The science just isn't there right now. All right. That's going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video is due back here tomorrow morning. Should you happen to enjoy these videos, then be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell. Leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. If you're really enjoying these videos, you want to support the channel, and of course you do, then, well, click that thanks icon below the video here on YouTube. Make a contribution to us that way, or via PayPal, groffshow@gmail.com. That's our PayPal address, groffshow@gmail.com for PayPal. Our Venmo is also linked up down in the description below. And all those other interactive features, the hypes and all that stuff, we really, really appreciate all of that. Anything you guys can do to help out the channel, we're always ever grateful for that. All right, the executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my OAO, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation and proprietor of sweetchildaz.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona. Talking about my Michelle. Check her out. Blogs, videos, everything Michelle related, Kylie related, Adriana related. It's all linked up down in the description below, so feel free to check all of that out. Our streaming station, available 24/7, 365, called KMGX. We play a ton of music, have a lot of fun with that over there. So again, check that out. Give that a listen. Give that a look. We really do appreciate that too. What else do we have going on? Oh, Yes, of course, check out Dan over at the Courtroom Files YouTube channel, The Courtroom Files on YouTube, courtroomfiles.com for all your Courtroom Files merch. And, you know, Dan's got all of his merchandise, all that cool stuff going on just in time for the holidays. Also, and I would be remiss for not mentioning this, you know, tonight, 8 p.m. East, 5 p.m. Pacific, it's Sidebar. So over there on the Courtroom Files YouTube channel, I mentioned it because, well, I'm part of the panel. And so join us tonight. Who's on the panel? I don't even know. I don't know who's there. You know what? Show up. That's what you're going to do. I'm not going to tell you the topic. I'm going to tell you just to show up and be there. Support Dan, support our sponsors, you know, our guys over at On Demand Power. You know, supporting all those guys, supporting Dan, supporting On Demand, supporting all those guys. It supports us, and that helps us out too. So really, really do appreciate each and every one of you guys once again. Thank you so much. Please, though, be safe, and you guys have yourselves a beautiful rest of your Thursday.